cactus and succulent growers, I'm Lynn and welcome to Desert Plants of Avalon in the north of Ireland. And today's video is something a little bit yucky, but it's all about, does your cactus have the cactus plague? The black cactus plague. Now, it's a little bit of a fun word because I have done a video about this before in the past, about 2 or 3 videos, and this sort of plague always rears its ugly head, I find, for me in the autumn time, early autumn. And what I'm talking about, I'm talking in general, I say the cactus plague, but it's actually what I find on my Trichocereus cacti. Da-da, there's another one there. Da-da, 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 da-da. Da-da, da-da. Isn't it disgusting? Da-da. Now, first of all, I'm going to talk about what causes this and what you need to do about it, and should you have to isolate your collection and all these other things. Now, I only find this on Trichocereus cacti and some other types of cereus cacti, such as Pilosocereus, which is this one here. And I'm sure I've got some past examples to show you. Now, first of all, I'm calling it the cactus plague, but what it is, it's actually not a plague, it's not a virus, it's not a bacteria or anything like that, and it doesn't kill your cactus. Well, not in my experience anyway. It's something that is caused by the alkaloids in their skin. Now, Trichocereus cacti, the same Pilosocereus cacti, they have, as also the cacti, have their own chemical composition, their natural biological chemicals. What they have alkaloids under their skin. When a cactus gets damaged, they give off an oozy substance, and different types of cacti produce their own, and with Trichocereus cacti and Pilosocereus cacti, if they get damaged or stressed in any way, they will produce this black, oozing, disgusting pustule sap. And I first discovered this a very long time ago. I got into sort of Trichocereus cacti anyway when I was in my early 20s. I've been growing cacti when I was a child, so well over 40 years now. But I got into the sort of cereus tall Trichocereus cacti very young, and I had my little greenhouse out the back. And I noticed that they seemed to come down with these black oozing pustules. And the first time I didn't know anything about it, and I was cutting it back and throwing the damaged parts away, and then it would reshoot itself again, and sometimes they'd reappear, and I just thought that I had some infection on my plants. Very little, if anything, about it, and no one I knew was into cacti to even talk about it. Now, fast forward years later, I've still got all these cacti I had in my early 20s today, and they're still living. In fact, many of them have outgrown the damage, and I've got very tall cacti. I mean, this big giant here is well over 7 feet high, this big Pachanoi crossed with Scopolycola, and here is damage that it would have had over the years, where it had these black oozing pustules, and also weighed, and you can't really notice them, they just go into white scabs now. And in my experience, it just seems to be some type of stress reaction that these plants, sorry about the lighting guys, it's getting quite dark at the moment, that these plants do produce, and I've never lost one to it. There's another example there that got the black oozing sap last year, and look at it now, it just goes into a fully white, hard, calloused scab, and the plant recovers and carries on growing. And I seem to notice it usually when we have sometimes at this time of year, sort of early autumn, and usually because our conditions here in Ireland, I'm in the north of Ireland, and the summer this year has been really terrible. When I say terrible, it's been the wettest, rainiest, windiest, most horrendous weather conditions this summer I've ever experienced. And now we're into the 3rd week of September. The weather is absolutely been amazing. It's been gorgeously hot, sunny, blistering heat. It's like this is the evening now, because this is the only time I've been able to come in here to film, because it's been so hot during the day, and it's already sitting on 20°, and it's nearly 8 o'clock, guys. So, you know, this is, I think, what has caused this. We've suddenly gone from very cold temperatures to suddenly this week has been blistering hot, and this is why all these pustules have started appearing, I notice. Now this has been here a while. This is old damage from earlier on in the summer, and it's starting to, this went sort of black or pustules, and this is all drying up now here, as you can see. And I may decide to cut it, or I may just leave it. It will just dry up. And it's just like the little war wounds, the same on there as well. These are sort of recently appeared over the past few days with these blackness, and this has always had it. These are past black pustules that have healed up, but these are all new, as you can see. Quite disgusting, and they've all appeared, and also some new ones as well on this one as well appearing. And I think it's been very hot, and trichocereus, you know, they can take intense temperatures, but I think it's just a shock for them. It's a stress, and they come out like this. I also find they can be very sensitive if I go a little bit too much on the fertilizer. They'll often come out with these black spots. Any damage as well. I have been in here sort of moving plants about last week, and I'm very careful when I move things. Sometimes just moving them and anything like that can cause these pustules. All I know is it doesn't kill the cactus. And I have had numerous people say to me, what's wrong with my cactus? It's got these black oozing marks on, and what is it? And I say, you know, leave it, because they'll go like this is past damage. They will eventually go grey, then white, and form a thick scab, and the cactus will recover. If you don't mind having ugly looking scabby cacti, which I don't, because I like the little war wounds, it adds character to them, then you just accept they're going to be okay. So what can you do? Well, in my experience, they just seem to appear, and you can't always prevent it, but you can, you know, if you want to treat it with a fungicide or things like that. It's not a necessity, because, as I say, it's not a fungus. I don't think it's going to do anything. Just leave it, give it ventilation. I have the door open here in the polytunnel during the hot days, always ventilated, so it's not lack of ventilation. I don't overwater. I'm very careful. I've stopped watering all of these now anyway, because they need to be totally dry for the winter, and it will go from this, and then over the weeks it will eventually go like this, and it's just something these cacti do. So I just wanted to do a bit of a recap on that, because I've done a video on black oozing pus spots on trichocereus cacti, and it's not just trichocereus, some other cacti can get it as well. They can sometimes get this oozing pustules. You know, I just try to see if I've got an example. I have experienced it with some of my other ones, but I don't know if I've actually got any to show you at the moment. Sometimes black spots can be rot and things like that, so there's many causes with the other types of cacti, so you do need to be aware. But with the trichocereus, this is my Trichocereus bujesi, and you can see how scabby this is. That had a load of the black oozing sap over the years, and it's absolutely awesome cactus now. So not to worry, just accept it is what it is. Make sure you're giving plenty of ventilation, and you know, if you really don't like the look of it, you can cut it back and keep the healthy parts, repropagate. But I always just say, just leave it. You know, it's something these cacti do. So I just wanted to do a video about that, you know, calling it the cactus plague. But it's actually the alkaloids under their skin that when they're stressed or they get damaged, bruised or anything like that, they produce these black sap. And I don't have any oozing at the moment, but sometimes they will burst open like a blister, and then it'd be a black sticky oozing sap that comes out. And I sometimes just give it a spray with the rubbing alcohol just to make sure it's sterilised and stuff. But that's really not much you can really do about it. So there we go, guys. Horrible, I know. Thank you so much for watching, and for lots more tips and tricks on how to grow many different types of cacti and succulents, then do please subscribe, and don't forget to click that notification bell. And do check out my website, desertplantofavalon.com. I want to wish you all a fantastic, uncactus plagued, plant-powered day.